Greetings, one and all. Welcome to Vocuni. My name is Praveen. I am a sales and marketing manager for South. I handle. I am here to talk about the DC fast charging. Before me speaking about that, I would want to actually give you a brief introduction about why we are talking about DC fast charging. This is about the electric vehicle. Before me starting with anything, I would request you guys to go to our YouTube channel. It is Vocuni in Vocuni, and in YouTube you will be able to see why EVs, electric vehicle, what are the two-wheeler components in electric vehicle, what are the four-wheeler components in electric vehicle, and what are the charging stations about charging stations. Now this I want to actually talk about is a lot of customers, end users who's using electric vehicle, they have some discrepancy is because of the charging time. Because when we have a nice engine vehicle and when we go to a petrol bunk, gas station, at that point of time we just take about 5 to 10 minutes to fill the gas. But when it comes to charging the battery, it takes longer. So what does a DC fast charging do? Now this is what differentiates the level 2, which is AC and DC fast charging. Now if you see the AC charging, it actually goes from the grid to the charging unit, and from there it has an onboard charger inside the car, and from there it gets developed and it goes to the battery. That is AC. But when it comes to a DC, where my head is actually covering, but we will send you this presentation if at all you want us to send you the presentation. So DC fast charging, what it does is the onboard charger is not there. From the grid, it directly goes from AC and it goes to the charging station. From there it converts to DC and directly goes DC to the battery. So what happens is it charges much faster. Now when we actually see this, it says what is the benefit of charging, so this is direct current charging is driving electricity mobility forward. So what happens, in 15 to 45 minutes your entire battery is charged almost 80% in 15 to 45 minutes. So I will tell you where this will actually come to a use. How does the DC charging work? So there are two different types of charging stations, which is AC and DC. And it's important for us to know that when it comes to AC, like for an example, let's say that you have a long day at work and after that you come back home and your car is parked at your parking spot. So definitely any vehicle that you buy, they will install an AC charging station which is at your house. So what happens at that point of time? You can plug in the charger and you can have your dinner and you can go to bed. So the next day when you come, you'll almost be let's say if it's at 9 o'clock, if you're putting putting it for charge, the next day morning by about 7-8 o'clock it will be completely charged. So that is the advantage, is because you're not waiting for the car to be charged and you're not going anywhere, because you are at home and you're going to rest well for the next day's work. So that is something which is AC. That in those aspects the AC charging station is something which is important. But when it comes to a DC, what happens is let's say that you're actually on a travel, you're traveling somewhere to an X to Y point. At that point of time you're stopping for breakfast, you and your family, you and your friends stopping for breakfast. At that point of time, maximum you will take about 30 to 45 minutes. At that point of time, this DC charging station comes into play. You can just connect your charger. You can, through an RFID and, through online payment, you can make the payment. And what happens after that is you can finish your breakfast. When you come back, you will be able to see that your vehicle is almost 80% charged. So government is also doing the same thing. They're going to install the charging stations, which is DC converter charging station on highways, on parking spots and on malls in these places. So the use of that is you're not going to spend a lot of time. Even if you're going to a mall, you're going to spend about 1.5 hours to 2 hours, let's say maximum 3 hours. In that 3 hours, if you're connecting your vehicle to the charging point, which is DC, what happens is the vehicle will be completely charged. And you're not waiting for the vehicle to be charged just because you're with your friends or family doing shopping. And when you come back, your vehicle is charged. So the DC charging station converts AC and it reaches the vehicle before it reaches the vehicle. So instead of delivering a direct current directly to the battery of the electric vehicles, so This presentation we will be able to send you on basis request. If you guys want it, we will be able to send you. And also, which actually see when you actually see the slide, it says that with DC chargers and converter to be significantly larger than, and it's located on the off-board. On-board charger will be a little, when it comes to AC charging and on-board charging, which is there in the car, the charging station will be comparatively smaller. But when it comes to a DC, there is no on-board charger in the car. And it actually goes to such a way that the off-board charger vehicle, because the current is already converted to DC, because there is no on-board charger, and it directly delivers to the vehicle for it to have a fast charge. Now, the types of charging ports that we actually see, one is CCS, it's called Combined Charging System. So these are the kind of charging ports. I will not be able to get into this too in depth, is because this is a very short video that I'm making, is because for you guys to have a hands-on experience, for you guys to know that what is the kind of port that we are actually talking about. And the other charging station where my head is actually, I'm just moving my head a little, where, that is chat demo. Like for an example, MG Hector cars, for an example, Hyundai Kona, these cars have these kind of ports. Now, the CCS is very basic, where Tata Nexon and Tata Verito, these cars have these kind of ports. Both are skilled for high AC and DC. Depends on the manufacturers as to who gives what kind of port. Like for an example, if you give an MG Hector EZV, that has CHAdeMO, CHAdeMO. This is a standard electric vehicle it enables seamless communication between the charger and charging station, that is CHAdeMO, and the connection between the car. So this is two kinds of charging ports. When you see the next one, which is this is something called as a Tesla supercharger. This is not AC or DC, this is DC, but this is supercharging ports. As the thesis actually says, in North America, Tesla is originated from North America. As the thesis says, in North America, as of now, they've already installed 1,600 supercharging ports. Within 30 minutes, your car is completely charged. And those are fast supercharging ports, which is more than a DC. The current which delivers it at a very high ratio, at a very high speed. And this is actually applicable right now only in Tesla. And right now Tesla is all over the world apart from India, but there are talks which is actually going on that Tesla is going to come to India very shortly. And very shortly, in a sense, I'm not talking about years together, I'm talking about probably within this year Tesla is going to come. And these are the kind of charging ports that you see. When you see North America, Japan and China, the kind of charging ports that we have. AC charging ports is one, it's AC and DC, CCS1, CCS2, CHAdeMO, and there's another one, and towards the right hand side next to the car, that is the AC charging port, which in a house, in a parking spot, the person just put the car for charge, and he's happily probably spending his rest of the time. So that is Tesla's. The right one, what you see is Tesla's. That's the charging port which has. Now the difference between AC and DC is, AC is something it will take like close to 6 to 8 hours for it to be charged, and DC is something which takes about 15 to 45 minutes for it to be charged. Now definitely you will have a question in your mind stating that, does DC fast charging cost more than an AC charging? Let me tell you folks, of course the answer is yes, because when you look at my presentation, it does say very clearly, but I'm going to give you a brief. I do not want to go through the bullet points and stuff that you will be able to read for yourself. What exactly happens is, when you want something done faster, you will have to make sure that you will be spending money for that as well. Now, comparatively, an AC charging station that is like, in an alternate current, when it is that, the cost factor will be definitely lesser. But when it comes to a DC, it will definitely be more. Probably, it depends on which kind of charging station that you will be going also. Because the differences in prices is, however, depends on the location where you are charging the car, whether it is a balancing price and at your convenience. Because some cars they have by unit and some cars they have by kilowatt hour. So that is something that you will be able to see. And how do I find a fast charging station is something that, we have something called as EV Mitra in Karnataka, With regards to other states, I'm not quite aware, because I will get back to you on that. But in Karnataka, we have something called as EV Mitra. In that, when you go and you can select your area wherever you are there, and you will be able to put in the location. It will show the nearest charging station which is there, and once you go there, you have an option whether you can charge your car in a AC or a DC. If you have a lot of time, and if you have a lot of patience and a lot of time, and you don't have anything else to do for that moment, you can go for an AC. Or if you want to go quick and you just want to grab a brunch or lunch, at that point of time, 30 minutes to 40 minutes, at that point you can use the DC. Now folks, one thing which is very important is, if you're seeing this video for the first time and if you do not know anything about EV, I would request you guys to go to our YouTube channel. First, subscribe. If there is any feedback, you can definitely always reach out to us and you can give us. My head is actually covering the presentation. You can reach us at support@vocuni.com, and my email address is praveen.babu@vocuni.com, and my phone number is 9611849461. If there is any questions, we would want you to come back to us. We would want you to tell us as to what better we can do also. And also please do subscribe, and please do watch our videos. We have videos about solar as well. If you're interested in solar, you can watch about that. It is completely free of cost, just because it's YouTube. You just have to click on the link and you can go. And when it comes to electric vehicles, I've spoken about what are the benefits of electric vehicle, where is the industry going, what are the kind of job opportunities that you're going to get, and what are the two-wheeler components in electric vehicle, what are the four-wheeler components in electric vehicle. Until then, the next time I'm going to come up with a another interesting topic. Till then, thank you for watching this video, and do subscribe, and have a good day, and take care of your families. Thanks.